So we're at our Alleena project to do our ecological monitoring this week. So excited, we've got wonderful volunteers with us who are experts in bird ecology and plant ecology. We hope to actually get 11 sites monitored this week, which involves all of our flora quadrants and our bird surveys. And it's just a wonderful time of year in spring to do this surveying, so we're really excited to be here. So some of the monitoring that we do with Wilderlands is actually our bird surveys, and we do these twice a year in winter and spring, and that's to capture any migratory species that we might have coming through this part of Australia. Spreading out 100 metres this way, 200 metres that way. The methodology that we use is actually a 2 hectare, 20-minute survey. And so we come to our monitoring site and we survey for 20 minutes and we capture all the birds, not only the ones that we're seeing, but also what we're hearing as well, and any birds that fly over.
That's the mistletoe bird.
It's tiny.
Yep. Zip. They have a lovely song.
Yeah.
That's their contact call, that zip.
And this is going into the National BirdLife Australia database, where all the data can be analysed for everyone to see. That's it, time's up. Western Durigany 4, white-eared honeyeater 1, yellow thornbill 4. Good. So here we are at one of our monitoring sites. We're just trying to put our 50-metre transect tape out. Grego, who's one of my star volunteers, has offered to go through the dagger wattle, which is extremely prickly, to try and get to the other end. So this is an example of the monitoring that we're doing here for Wilderlands, and this is what we call a subplot. So we have a 50-metre transect that goes through our site, and these are 1 metre subplots that we do 10 of along this transect line. What we're looking at here is recording the cover of litter, which is leaf litter. We look at the moss and lichen cover, what we call cryptogamic crust. We look at bare ground, and we look at recording rocks in these quadrants. We also look at total grazing pressure, and we do that by counting different animal scats, mainly kangaroos, and we count the scats that we have in each of these plots. It gives us an average total through the site of what's happening on the ground level.
This is an echidna poo, and you can see it's quite solid. It's got a lot of sand in it, and when they've been eating termites and ants and that, they take in a lot of sand, and they must have a very strong gut to be able to push out this very sandy, like a brick.
As part of the monitoring that Wilderlands undertakes at Alleena, we measure tree size and density in each of our monitoring plots. To measure the size of a tree, we use a diameter tape. These measurements are taken approximately 1.3 metres above ground height, and this gives us a reading of the diameter of the tree. We count and record the number of individuals within our monitoring plots, and over time, this will provide detailed data on any changes in the structure and therefore the function of this vegetation community. Lots of these small hollows in the mallee, which is so significant for small mammals like the yellow-footed antechinus. So we also measure the logs that are on the ground, and the logs have to be over 10 centimetres in diameter to be considered a log. And we measure the total length in metres that we have of the logs in our transects. Logs are fantastic habitat structure. Not only do we have animals that need logs, lots of insect activity, but there's also a lot of fungus that starts to break down the timber, and all these provide resources for all the other animals that live here. We've been measuring the structure of the vegetation, and we do this using this pole, and it measures what we touch on the ground, whether it's cryptogamic crust or soil, bare ground rocks or plants. It measures up to 1 metre, and so we capture all the shrubs that are there, and it's got a laser beam here that measures the distance through to the canopy. And the canopy is really important because it can change over time. If the ecosystem is not healthy, you might get canopy dieback, and we'll be able to measure those things using this methodology. It's been so special seeing this project firsthand. There's so much life living in every corner of this property. The bird life is absolutely spectacular, and there's so many plants and animals who will have a better chance of flourishing thanks to the work that is happening here on the ground. I can't wait to see how this project flourishes over time, and really do feel privileged to be part of the team working here to protect it forever.